I have been wanting to date all of a sudden. I do not get approached.
I will always be such a hater for dating apps because they've ruined the magic of males approaching women.
Why men never approach women anymore?
Because they're so with this culture. I don't need no man, independent, and all this crap. To assert.
The culture have become so toxic, and as a result, it has pushed men away completely.
If a guy asks me my body count, I never speak to him again.
Why aren't men making the first move anymore?
Somebody tell me why guys don't shoot their shot. Like, there's a 99.9% chance that you're gonna get my number if you come up and talk to me.
I just want to know, like, am I that ugly?
Many women believe they deserve a top-tier man, while they themselves are very average. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
I see girls commenting saying that they would love to be approached by a man, and I just want to say I don't believe you. Being approached by a man is so deemed by society now, it would literally scare you. You would think something was mentally wrong with a man who came up to you and told you that you were the most beautiful thing in the world and they would love to take you out.
Why aren't men making the first move anymore?
Why should they? Men and women are equal, right? So that means equal rights and equal responsibilities. And that includes dating.
Like, that's literally your job.
Says who? Oh, wait, it's some of those individuals that want traditional gender roles to be enforced in certain situations, but absolutely not in others.
It's your responsibility to show the initial interest. It's your job to go get the girl's number, to go tell her that you're interested.
Whenever I hear takes like this, where it's a woman emphasizing that it is solely the man's responsibility to approach the woman and initiate contact for the beginnings of a relationship, I often wonder, is that just some way of indicating that they're not getting approached? Could be.
You're afraid of getting rejected. Be a man. Grow up.
Anyone else find it just a tad bit funny that there are some women out there that want men to act like men, only in so much as it serves their purpose. But when it doesn't, they call men acting like men reprehensible.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Many women say it's a man's job to approach a woman, wherever that idea comes from. But even when men do it, these women today make it so hard and complicated. And now the end result is a bunch of women complaining about how men are not approaching them anymore or entertaining them. The thing is, when many say that, it's the thrill they miss, the attention, the chase, the feeling of being desired. They don't actually miss the men. They miss the validation that came with being approached. Back then, they were the center of attention, the ones being admired, and it gave them a sense of power. But now that men have stopped chasing and started focusing on themselves, that constant validation is gone. The silence feels uncomfortable. The same women who once rejected, ignored, or played games are realizing that the attention they thought would always be there isn't coming back. While many of them complain about the lack of approach, they themselves refuse to make a move on a man.
Stop telling me to go meet someone in the wild when I go in the wild and someone will be staring at me the whole entire night and won't come say hi. How many more times is that going to happen? How many more times am I going to be in the bar, playing pool, at the coffee shop, on a walk, and I will be staring down another person who is staring me down, smiling across the table, whatever, and you don't come say hi? Oh my gosh. What am I meant to do, you guys? Am I going to have, like, we always have to make the first move or something? Because, like, oh my gosh.
I was out with the most beautiful girl the other night, like, gorgeous. And she's not intimidating, and she's smiley and blah, blah, blah. And literally, no guys approached us. Like, none.
Like, when I have a kid, when I'm older daughter, I want her to be approached.
Okay, you must not have watched my other video explaining how to approach a woman. Like, approaching a woman, approach them with respect and, like, kindness and be genuine. Approaching a woman doesn't mean to pull up on them, tell them they're pretty in a creepy way, and ask to take a photo with them. That's weird. It's not Delulu. It's not Delulu on both ends of the spectrum. It's fact. And if you don't understand that, then I don't, like, it's such a lost cause. It's like an actual joke.
Does she really think men don't approach women with respect or genuine intentions? Because that couldn't be further from the truth. Many men still try to do things the right way. They walk up respectfully, they're polite, they're kind, they're honest, and somehow they still end up being mocked or humiliated for it. The amount of women saying they don't want men approaching them isn't just about setting boundaries anymore. It's starting to sound like resentment. It's almost as if they've developed a deep bitterness toward men in general, and every interaction is filtered through that hate. A lot of men have learned the hard way that no matter how genuine or respectful they are, it's never enough. Some women today treat a man showing interest like it's an insult instead of a compliment. They'll roll their eyes, make a TikTok about it, or laugh about it with friends, not realizing they're mocking the very thing they claim they want. A real, respectful man.
I have only been approached by a man in the wild one time, and let me tell you, it shook me to my core. And I haven't stopped thinking about it. This was a few years ago. I walk into a bar with a friend, and a guy sitting at the bar turned, looked at me, and gave me the "I'm gonna talk to you" vibes. I am the world's worst flirter. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how bad I am at flirting. And so I froze like a deer in the headlights, like literally frozen. I walk up to the bar to order my drink, okay? And this man walks straight up to me and says, "Hello, my name is Jim." Luckily, my friend stepped in and was like, "Hi, this is Katerina. She's so great," because I was frozen. We played some eyeball tennis back and forth in the bar for like an hour. And he came up to me and bought me and my friend a drink and got my number and was so respectful. And I was actually in complete shock because I didn't know this happened in real life. Granted, this happened to me 2 years ago and it was the only time it's ever happened to me. But men, this is the power of approaching a woman in the wild, because I truly have not gotten him out of my mind.
Can we please bring back men coming up to us? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of coming up to us? Genuinely, I don't want, I get it, rejection, okay, I get it. However, if you go up to a girl in a nice way, I don't think you can fail. Honestly. Especially if you've already made eye contact several times with the girl. If you're out in public and you've made eye contact, let's say you're in the subway or the bus or just walking or getting coffee or something, and you've made eye contact with this girl multiple times, she probably thinks you're attractive. So why can't you just go up to her, just say something nice, compliment her, and then ask her for her number? That's it. Please?
The reality is, women created this toxic dynamic, and they hate that they have to deal with it. And honestly, all they can do is blame themselves. They're the ones who turned dating into a power game instead of a connection. They mocked good men, praised toxic ones, and treated genuine interest like a joke. Men aren't scared to approach women. They're just careful and cautious now. There's a difference. The reality is, a lot of men saw this coming long ago. They knew that constantly rejecting, mocking, and shaming men for simply showing interest would eventually backfire. Women don't approach, but later turn around and start begging to be approached again when the attention dries up. The thing is, there isn't a single way to approach women. Everyone gives different advice. Go up to her nicely, be honest, be confident, just be yourself. But the truth is, even those methods don't work anymore. You can do everything right and still get brushed off.
The thing with men is that when they see someone that they want, it doesn't take them a long time to figure that out. If he really wanted you, he would have walked up to you and talked to you. But he didn't want to. And that's okay. We're not approaching men. Men look at so many women throughout the day. They have wandering eyes. He saw you. He didn't want to make a move. That's fine. You're not going to make the move. You are not going to walk up to this man. They have enough princess treatment. We're not going to go ahead and do that. Yes, there's that handkerchief thing where, you can just drop the handkerchief. But this does not apply to actually approaching a man. So please do not approach him. Let him come to you.
For the first time in American history, the average woman is more well-educated than the average man. And I think that's why we have issues like the male loneliness epidemic. A lot of women choosing to be single voluntarily because they've poured energy into other hobbies and other academic efforts or things that are more mentally stimulating.
So you got all this education and you have all these fancy degrees. If you're not happier, what is the freaking point? What is the point? What did you ultimately get out of it? Well, I can make my own money. Okay, really? You're going to make your own money and you're going to be stressed out and you're going to be, crazed. Probably spend your whole 20s sitting in cubicles, grabbing coffee and doing chores and doing errands and climbing some ladder that you ultimately realize at 35 you didn't even want to climb. Getting exhausted, sitting under blue light, no outdoor time, stressed out, cortisol spiking. What are you happier? No. You're not happier.
This is something that modern women will never understand. Men do not care about your career or your education. Them getting an education is great for them, but men don't look for women who are highly educated or have six-figure salaries when choosing someone to love. Only women think that matters. And because they think that, they often lead with their accomplishments instead of their femininity. They try to impress men with their degrees, job titles, or independence, not realizing that those things don't make a man fall in love. They make him respect you professionally, but not necessarily desire you romantically. Men don't date resumes. That being said, a lot of these women get their degrees, buy a home, and still end up lonely. They achieve everything society told them would make them complete: the education, the career, the independence. Yet when the lights go out and the house is quiet, that emptiness starts to hit.
Are you dressed like this for yourself, or is it because you want guys to hit on you?
For myself and for guys to hit on me, because it is a loaded question, but it's both, because I dress like this because it makes me feel good and I feel like I look good for me, and I want to look good for, to get a guy's attention. Sure, why not? Who doesn't like attention?
Is that also why you got your nipples pierced?
I got my nipples pierced because this is America.
Well, why are you covering them up now? Like, I put you on the spot. You come out here with your tummy out, your nipples pierced. Then he's just gonna see it.
No. Is your dick pierced?
You want to find out?
Maybe.
How much do you think you could handle?
This guy.
Will always be such a hater for dating apps because they've ruined the magic of males approaching women. I've never been on a dating app before for a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons being that I want a man who has the confidence and bravery to do something difficult and come up to me in public and try to hit on me. And it's been successful. Like, every single one of my boyfriends has been somebody I've met in the wild. But I'm single for the first time in a really long time. And I live in Toronto. So the dating app scene here is humongous. That's pretty much how, like, everybody met their boyfriends here. So you'll go out in public. Like, for example, me and my best friend were out on Ossington yesterday. So many guys just stare at you. They stare you down, but they won't say anything. They're just like, I don't know, scared or shy, or they don't think it's worth it. And to contrast that with Europe, me and my best friend were in Europe a few weeks ago, and you can't walk without somebody hitting on you. To the point where you're literally like hitting people off. Like, no, there's enough for everybody. And we were meeting guys from all over Europe, Greece, Germany, Austria. All those guys were coming up to us, being bold and brave and hitting on us. And we would ask them, like, do you guys use dating apps? Like, is that a thing where you're from? And they're like, no, that's so embarrassing. We would never use a dating app. And then we get back here, and again, the guys are shy and scared and don't want to come up to you, but they'll stare. They just won't make any moves. And I genuinely blame dating apps because it's made it so easy to avoid that difficult thing to do, which is go up to a woman in public and face the possibility of rejection. It's so much easier to just do that on an app and take away a little bit of the fear. But to me, that is just so wimpy. Like, you're a man. What are you scared of? Legitimately, what are you scared of? You're scared of rejection? You're a man. You should be able to handle that. And move on, laugh about it with your friends, move on to the next girl. I honestly think North America is cooked.
I do agree that dating apps have completely destroyed the in-person experience when it comes to meeting someone. There's no real spark anymore, no genuine first impression, just swipes, filters, and algorithms deciding who's worth your time. But even if we took dating apps away, which honestly might be better for everyone, It still wouldn't make a huge difference, especially for men, because when women complain about men not approaching them, let's be real, it's only a certain type of man they want to approach them. Even on dating apps, the average guy has to swipe hundreds of times, sometimes over 200, just to get one coffee date, and even then, there's no guarantee of a second one if he isn't ghosted first. But I do agree to a certain extent, we did lose something valuable, the in-person connection. And we can thank the Me Too movement and modern feminism for that. Men are more cautious than ever, not because they don't want to approach, but because they know one wrong word or misunderstood gesture can be twisted against them.
Dating men is just not fun anymore, and anytime I get bored and I want to get on the dating apps again, I just need to remind myself that dating men is horrible. And I need to remind myself of all of the horrible dates I've been on. So just a little recap. Since I moved to Austin, I was in a relationship with someone for a second that was an absolute bum. And I found out after that we broke up from his ex that not only was he homeless for a while, but he cheated on her the whole time. And he was so like blatantly obvious about it too. Like one time they basically lived together. One time he just didn't come home. And he kicked her out because she was spending the night at his, and he kicked her out, and he was like, yeah, I just don't feel good. I'm sick from drinking. And he had felt guilty because he cheated on her. Anyways, and then there was this 30-year-old guy that invited me to emo night on Dirty Six, and then he refused to pay for me the entire night and like barely talked to me, and then expected to get laid after that. There's one 30-year-old that ghosted me before a date. I had to ask, like, is our date still happening? And I was at the spot, and he was like, no, I'm hungover. I'll make it up to you. And I was like, no, you're not making it up to me. You're never seeing me again. I dated a guy for a whole month, and I thought he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend, and he ghosted me over Thanksgiving and then blamed it on me because I apparently texted him too many times. I think I texted him maybe once since he was at home for Thanksgiving. One time. And then he proceeded to stalk me after the fact. I don't even know. The list goes on. Men are just so self-absorbed, and then they think the grass is greener. We make up all these excuses as to what it is, but that's what it is. Men are narcissistic, self-absorbed, and they always think that there's a better option out there. And then when there's not a better option, that's when they finally value you. Yeah. That's how it goes. Date for money. Date for money. That's what I'm going to do. I am marrying the best financial option.
Women with these types of experiences only have one particular issue. They just keep picking the same kind of men. Saying dating men is horrible is nothing more than projection. The truth is, they're not dating all men. They're dating the same type of man over and over again, and then acting surprised when the outcome doesn't change. They'll say, men are trash. But the reality is, they're attracted to the same red flags every time. The charm, the confidence, the thrill. And they confuse that with chemistry. Then, when it all falls apart, instead of self-reflecting, they blame all men for their bad choices. It's easier to play the victim than admit they keep ignoring the good guys for the ones who give them temporary excitement. It's the attraction to dysfunction for them. They don't realize it, but chaos has become their comfort zone. If you cannot find one good man, the common denominator is you.